what people do, what I think is that when it comes to these like fraudsters, is what they're really good at is to make you feel like you really trust them. Like you get this like instant connection, you say.
Sure.
Yeah, because they adapt, like they look at you, see what you like, and then they adapt to become a person that you will like.
That's interesting. So that actually brings me to can I ask you a tough question?
Yeah, sure.
Because so I work in the news business, and I call it the news manufacturing business. So we make news. We make people newsworthy. When I initially watched the film, my first reaction is, these are 3 girls and a guy who got together and decided they all wanted to be famous and came up with this amazing story and put it out there, and now they're all getting a lot of attention from it. What do you think about my cynicism?
No, that is absolutely crazy. So the story is 100% real, and he's still a wanted criminal. I mean, he's wanted in 7 countries.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Vito Glazers After Dark, live from the Soho House in West Hollywood, California. I'm here with an incredible guest. You probably recognize your face, but you might not be able to put your finger on where you know her from. This is the lovely Miss Pernilla Elisabeth from the Tinder Swindler. Pernilla, how does it feel to be in the Soho House tonight?
Oh, it's feeling great. It feels a little bit surreal, like even being here in LA and just...
Yes,
a lot of things. There's so much going on right now, so...
There is a lot going on. I know we've had a crazy day, and I'm so grateful to have you spend a few minutes with me. I really want to use your story to kind of help empower some people, because we're going to be reaching a lot of creatives, a lot of actresses, musicians, and people in this community are regularly victims of fraud.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of guys, and girls actually too, that use their image, or they use maybe their place in society to manipulate people to make them think they can give them an opportunity. And I think that's part of the reason your story is so important. But before we get into that, I'd really love to know a little bit more about you, because I actually I don't watch a lot of movies, but I watched the Tinder Swindler the other night. And I have a couple questions about how legit it is and what's going on with all of that. But before that, I'd love to know, like, where are you from? You're not from LA.
No, I am from Stockholm in Sweden, where I grew up and...
Born and raised in Stockholm, Sweden.
Born and raised. 100% Swede.
100% Swedish. And going from Stockholm, basically, what's your background like? What did you do after high school?
So I studied, and then I actually moved from home. I took care of myself since the age of 16. So I used to work extra while studying as well. And then I started to, like, save my money. I was working as a waitress, basically. I started to take my money, and then I started to invest them in real estate.
Oh, wow.
So I made... Like, Simon took the last part, so I made quite good money out of that. Like, I always been, like, give me 1,000 crowns. I will, like, flip it around. I will do something with it. But then I went through a separation, and then, you know, I was a little bit reckless with money. I was stupid, sorry, but by the age of 30. So Simon basically took the last part, but I did make myself, like, a self-made millionaire at the age of 27.
Self-made millionaire, age of 27, Stockholm, Sweden. And then where did you kind of go from there? Once, where are you living? Do you live in Europe, America?
I live in Europe right now, so I'm between Spain and Marbella and Stockholm, so I go between there.
Well, it sounds like things are going okay. Those are not places poor people live. So it's really cool. How did you end up with this opportunity to make this film? Were you approached, or did you have to call a lot of companies to get that movie made?
No, so we got it approached by an agent from United Talents, and then basically we were going from there. And then I think we were in like 9 different interviews with different studios. Here in Hollywood. And
UTA, I actually know United Talent Agency very well. They're a great company.
Yeah, they're amazing. I love our agent there.
So, do you want to shout them out?
Yeah, Addison, I love you. You are the best.
So we'll keep an eye out for Addison. Maybe we got to move her over to our team. So, when it comes to the film, how did they hear about it through the news, or how really, where did they even get wind of the story?
Yeah, they heard the news. So, like, basically when all this happened, Cecilia had went to the newspaper. So I understood, like, when we were sitting up when I got the call, and I just went to call him out to the entire world. So I literally forced them to make the article in an English version as well, and then me and Cecilia were sitting together and emailing this news outlet to every news outlet out in the world. Like, anyone who wanted to show his face, we were up for an interview.
So for those of you who follow me who know my press hacks, that's what we would refer to as traditional pitching. That's where you're taking a press release, or you're taking an article and you're pitching it to every single person you can do. That's a manual grind grind. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, it is a lot. It's a lot of work. We will look back in our emails there.
Yes.
It's like hundreds and hundreds of emails.
If only you had come across Glazers Media sooner.
Oh, God, I wish I had.
So if you guys have a great story, you can either do it their way, the long way, or you can come to Glazers Media. We'll pitch it for you. So you pitched the story hundreds of times. How many weeks, months, years went into pitching the story?
So we took a lot of time, and then it went viral.
Right.
I mean, we didn't have to do the work after a couple of days. Then it just it was running.
So you sent a few hundred emails, and then a couple people picked it up, and then it went viral.
And then that is how United Talents picked it up.
Okay, so United Talent seen it. Did you message United Talent, or did you?
No, they reached out to us.
Okay, so they seen you in the news. Then how long did it take from the time United Talent reached out to you to the time that it actually ended up on Netflix?
3 years.
3 years.
3 years. And
Wow.
I am so impressed with the people who made the movie and everything as well. We have to think that this was shot and edited and everything during Corona. So people were literally making this movie from their house.
Yeah, and it's actually beautifully shot, but I produce a lot of films as well, and I was looking at it and I was like, wow, they really they made this on like a budget. Like this is they did a really nice job of making it look expensive.
Yeah, they made it really, really well, like how they filmed it and how they produced it and everything. It was great.
And then really quick, and then I want to get into a little bit about maybe some things you could teach our audience about how to prevent the same situation happening to them. But how has appearing in your own Netflix documentary affected your life and the people around you?
Well, for me, it came like a shock. I don't think I really understood what was going on until it actually aired. And I have no idea it was going to hit this big as well. I can remember sitting in the cinema room and I was thinking I don't know what is weirdest, the thing that happened or this aftermath of it. But my general opinion, I mean, I am not from here, but I have been going to LA for a lot of years. And it's here's a lot of fake it till you make it. There are so many fake people here, and what people do, what I think is that when it comes to these fraudsters, is what they're really good at is to make you feel like you really trust them. You get this instant connection, you say.
Sure.
Yeah, because they adapt, they look at you, see what you like, and then they adapt to become a person that you will like.
That's interesting. So that actually brings me to can I ask you a tough question?
Yeah, sure.
Because I work in the news business, and I call it the news manufacturing business. So we make news. We make people newsworthy. When I initially watched the film, my first reaction is, these are 3 girls and a guy who got together and decided they all wanted to be famous and came up with this amazing story and put it out there, and now they're all getting a lot of attention from it. What do you think about my cynicism?
No, that is absolutely crazy. So the story is 100% real, and he's still a wanted criminal. I mean, he's wanted in 7 countries, so he can't really leave Israel. So for me, this was never about making this, because it is. I have to be honest. Before this happened to me, I will look at people who got defrauded. Why are you stupid? Why would you give anyone money or anything? This really was to help other people. I want to help people to not feel ashamed about getting defrauded because it's so common. And we have to remember as well, suicide goes up with 25% when there is fraud involved. So, and I wanted people to understand a background of what can really be going on in the background as well.
Well, yeah,
because it is emotional abuse as well.
Well, of course, yeah, it definitely sucks. And like you said, you look at these Nigerian scams and stuff where they say a prince is leaving you a fortune. And you're like, who falls for this? But then people actually.
I got that email the other day. Actually, I'm like, no.
Yeah, you're like, I've already been there. I don't need the money that bad. So okay, just to proceed on, we have about 5 minutes where I'd like to talk to you, maybe about 2 or 3 things or insights that you can share with our audience of what you would do differently and how you would identify somebody trying to defraud you. Let's say you're in Hollywood, you're an actress trying to get a movie role. You're a woman, self-made woman, and you're going on these dates with guys in L.A. I'm talking about L.A. specifically, or Miami. These are towns where, I feel that men and women both take advantage of each other for what they can get. So what would you do differently, whether it's in the entertainment business, whether it's just on a dating app? How would you identify something that is a potential scam? And then what would you do to kind of get yourself out of that situation quickly?
Well, it is very tricky. So, for example, I had an entire team going after me. I had so many people, legitifying the entire story. And I didn't meet everyone at once. They came,
Right.
So it is a tricky place because it's saying, don't trust people.
Right.
And if we take away the trust, where's the world heading then? So I think what happened to me was very like spectacular in that way, that they had so many people involved. But of course, like you should always be careful and a little bit thoughtful. But as well, you can't send out a private detective to every new person that you meet. I mean, I promise you, no one would meet me if I would send a private detective on you before coming here.
I do background check pretty much everybody I interact with. Yeah. So maybe that's just me being in LA for too long.
Maybe you're better. Maybe you should tell me how to do this.
Well, no, I was just wondering your insight. So,
I think you should always be a little bit more cautious, and I think this would not happen to me today. But, I mean, like, I got brainwashed. So my point of view with brainwash, for example, was that you have to be a weak person to get brainwashed. But you don't have to. But it is tricky.
So maybe one of the insights we could share is don't share too much personal information about yourself to give somebody the ability to manipulate you with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Like, kind of play your cards until you really know.
So what I have to learn is like not to be too nice. I think I also always had this like little bit of issue. Like I want everyone to be as happy as I am. So I always want to look after people. If people come with problems, like I'm the friend that people call in the middle of the night and just if something has happened, because I'm a fixer and a doer. Like if you get stuck in an island, like you can't get out of there, you would call me and I would get you out of there, you know.
Well, apparently I've seen that on TV already. My question, when you met Simon, he had like 100K followers.
Yeah.
Did you check his engagement rate? Were the followers real?
To be honest, no. I wasn't that into Instagram at this point. I mean, like, this happened to me 4 years ago. I met Simon. I didn't really use Instagram that much.
I feel like it's gotten bigger now.
Yeah. I mean, like, now you understand it a little bit better. I mean, like, now I go in and I look how many people, like, on the comments, like, what type of comments is it. I learned a lot throughout this experience, so...
So, was he verified on Instagram?
No, he wasn't.
That's why you shouldn't date unverified people. That's one of my tips.
This is such an LA and Hollywood thing. Like, don't date.
I'm just kidding. Well, I joked around with my friend. He said, he's like, why would you say that? And I said, well, at a minimum, the girl's got an ID.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's like, that's at a minimum. Anyways, that's a bad joke.
Can I say something funny?
Of course.
So everyone can be like, oh, how could you believe that? How could you believe that was him?
Yeah.
I literally like, no news reporter ever have asked about my ID card. When I sold my life rights, it was like Corona happened.
Yeah.
So normally, if you would sign it here, you go and like have someone to sign under that you were you.
Right.
But that couldn't happen. I was in Sweden, so no one never looked at my ID card. I literally sold my life rights without. No news reporter have ever looked it up. No one had never asked me, so I could have literally imagined. You know, I could have just pretended I could have been like someone else.
Yes.
And that is absolutely insane. And then people could come to you like, oh, how could you believe that he was him? I was like, as a passport, we were going on flights, like we were checking in hotels. They were like, welcome back, Mr. Leviev, everywhere.
Wow, it's so elaborate. To me, that's kind of like spending more time cheating on the test than just like studying for it. You know, if I were him, I mean, with that intelligence and that level of being able to do that, he could have just, I don't know, come out to Hollywood and done what everybody else does,
like,
right?
If he would have worked in sales, I mean, like, he would have been the best salesperson. I mean, imagine him just selling cars. I mean, he could just sell you everything.
And here's the reality of things is that a lot of, really, people who do that stuff, they just do it because they enjoy it.
They do.
They have some kind of sociopath or...
Well, he is a narcissist sociopath, and he's a very, very sick one. You can feel like he have done like one interview for Insider Edition or something. And then you can just see him like, this is very hard for me. Yeah. Because like these people love themselves. Yes. Like he sees himself like smarter and better than everyone else.
How do you feel about him being on Cameo?
Oh, I'm sorry, I hate Cameo. Am I allowed to say that?
You can say whatever you want.
Okay, no, I hate them. So I literally... Because they were trying to get us on as well. Yeah. So I freaked out in these, like, people. I think it's disgusting. I mean, this is not a normal, healthy person that has just done fraud. I mean, like, he's a sick person. He death threats women. He death threats, you know, like, even children. Yeah. This guy had threatened to kill his own child, you know, like, and you're giving him a promotion area. So I'm sorry, anyone who is at Cameo, just, like, switch, cancel it.
Well, actually, a lot of people... Yeah. A lot of people from Cameo do watch this because they're from Chicago. I'm from Chicago originally.
Yeah, sorry, it's just the trash company. I'm sorry. I have no respect for them whatsoever. Yeah, I hate them.
So, okay, we've got about a minute left. What are you working on next? Where does life take you from here? And where can our audience connect with you if they want to work with you?
Well, they would connect me on my Instagram account. I'm starting up a TikTok as well.
Okay.
But I am also working on a new company, and we got also like a very interesting collaboration that is coming out very soon.
Share that with us. What are you working on?
Okay, I hope I can say this from now.
Well, if it gets you in trouble, we'll cut it. It comes out in 2 weeks.
Okay, but it involves diamonds. So
Oh.
we are making a collaboration with the real LED diamonds. So we're having a bracelet coming out very soon.
We'll add the link at the end of the show once it's public information. But and what besides the collaboration with the jewelry company, do you have any plans for new content? Do you have any plans? Where do you see your career going from here? More real estate?
I think right now I'm working on a different company, so I'm starting up my own like cleaning product line, and then also I'm trying. I do a lot of speeches right now, so I'm booked in. Yeah, and they're like very good, nice speeches in these big conferences. So
amazing.
Yeah, and I really love it. I think it's a very good opportunity.
Well, Pernilla, thank you so much for joining us today. This has been another episode of Vito Glazers After Dark, live from the Soho House in West Hollywood, California. Guys, make sure you follow her on Instagram at Pernilla Elisabeth, and you can always follow me at Vito Glazers. We will see you guys next time.
Thank you.
Well, thank you to everybody for tuning in to tonight's episode of Vito Glazers After Dark, live from the Soho House in West Hollywood, California. And if you enjoyed tonight's episode and you'd like to know how you can support the podcast, I invite you to check out one of our affiliate partners, TriCarat. TriCarat is a black card for influencers with amazing rewards. It's a charge card based on your social influence. So actually, how many followers you have has a lot to do with how much money you get approved for on your credit line. So if you're a social media influencer or you're an entrepreneur and you're looking for another great credit line with amazing rewards, I highly suggest you check out influencerblackcard.com. That's influencerblackcard.com. I signed up for free and I got approved for $15,000 monthly limit. So find out today by applying at influencerblackcard.com. See how much you actually get approved for. I'd love to find out from you and hear your success stories. And the best part about this card is it actually opens up a whole community and a whole world of influencers for you. So again, if you enjoyed the podcast and you'd like to know how you can support us for no cost, please check out our affiliate partner, TriCarat, by visiting influencerblackcard.com. We'll see you on the next episode.